Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm in the face of chaos, while others crumble at the smallest setback? It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's a discipline, a way of thinking, a way of living, a choice made, moment after moment, to master the one thing we truly own, our inner world. Today you're about to unlock 12 timeless Stoic lessons that will reshape how you face life's storms and help you build a fortress of peace that nothing and no one can tear down. Are you ready to become unshakable? Let's begin. 1. Anchor your self-worth deep inside. Imagine this: you're walking into a room full of strangers. Some people smile, some people ignore you. One person gives you a subtle judgmental glance, and suddenly, without even realizing it, your heart sinks. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we were taught a lie, that how others see us determines how valuable we are. But here's the raw, liberating truth: it doesn't. Not even a little bit. Your worth isn't decided by a stranger's glance, a friend's praise, a boss's recognition, or the number of followers you have online. It isn't a voting system. It isn't up for negotiation. Your worth is inherent, immutable, untouchable. Let's flip the script. Imagine walking into that same room again. Only this time, you carry a silent, powerful certainty. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. Their approval or disapproval, it's just noise. You still notice the glances, the smiles, the cold shoulders, but they roll off you like rain against a mountain. You don't crumble. You don't puff up in pride either. You simply stand. That's real confidence. That's real peace. And it starts with anchoring your self-worth so deep inside that no external storm can shake it. Why do we struggle so much with this? Because we crave connection. We're social creatures. It feels good when others like us. It stings when they don't. But here's the Stoic reality. Needing approval is different from appreciating connection. When you need someone's validation to feel whole, you surrender your power. When you appreciate connection without depending on it, you stay sovereign. A powerful question to ask yourself: would I still believe I'm worthy if no one clapped? If the answer isn't a resounding yes, then you're standing on shaky ground. Ground that anyone with a careless word or a cold glance can rip from beneath you. And you deserve better. Here's a simple truth to tattoo on your heart: compliments don't make you better. Criticism doesn't make you worse. Awards, promotions, likes, followers, they're nice bonuses, but they are not the source of your value. You were valuable the moment you were born. You will be valuable the moment you die. Everything in between is simply an expression of that unchanging truth. Practical steps to anchor your self-worth: daily affirmation. Each morning, look in the mirror and say, I am enough, exactly as I am. Not because you're perfect, but because you are already complete without needing to earn it. Detach from metrics. Whether it's grades, salary, likes, or weight, stop letting numbers narrate your self-esteem. Metrics are tools for growth, not mirrors of your soul. Celebrate authentic wins. Praise yourself for the things no one sees, the kindness you chose when you could have been cruel, the discipline you kept when no one was watching, the courage you showed just getting out of bed on a hard day. Guard your inner dialogue. Be ruthless with self-talk. If you wouldn't say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. Here's the final reminder you need. You are the sun. Whether people bask in your warmth or complain about the heat, you still shine. So walk into every room, every meeting, every conversation, not wondering, do they like me? But standing firm in the quiet knowing, I know my worth, and it's not up for debate. That's not arrogance, that's freedom. And it's yours whenever you decide to stop asking the world for permission to be enough. 2. Let go or get dragged. Once you've anchored your self-worth deep inside, once you stop letting strangers and circumstances define your value, you'll encounter another crucial lesson on the road to emotional freedom: the art of letting go. Because no matter how grounded you become, life will still throw injustice, heartbreak, betrayal, and loss at your feet. And in those moments, you'll face a brutal, beautiful choice: let go or get dragged. Picture this: you're gripping a burning coal in your hand, furious at the person who wronged you. You hold it tight, seething, imagining the day you'll throw it back at them. But while you wait, something happens. The only person getting burned is you. This is what resentment, anger, and bitterness do. They don't punish the people who hurt you. They punish you. Every replayed conversation, every imagined revenge, every surge of bitterness siphons life from you, not from them. Here's the hard but liberating truth. Letting go doesn't excuse the wrong. Letting go doesn't erase the pain. Letting go simply says, I choose my peace over my pain. It's a declaration of freedom, not weakness. But why is it so hard to let go? Because pain tricks us. It whispers, if you hold on to this long enough, maybe they'll feel it too. But they rarely do. And even if they did, would their suffering heal your wound? Pain also feeds the ego. It says, I was wronged. I deserve justice. I deserve acknowledgement. And maybe you do. But clinging to what you deserve keeps you trapped in what you can't change. Freedom isn't getting what you're owed. Freedom is realizing you don't need it to move on. A powerful reframe to remember, this pain happened to me. But it doesn't have to own me. You are not your betrayal. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your injustice. You are the one who gets to decide what stays and what is released. Practical ways to start letting go. Feel without judgment. Allow yourself to fully feel the anger, sadness, betrayal, without labeling it as good or bad. Emotions need air to dissipate. Denying them only roots them deeper. Shift the story. Instead of thinking, this shouldn't have happened to me, say, it happened. Now I choose how to carry it, or not carry it at all. Visualize release. Imagine holding your anger in your hands like a stone. Then picture yourself setting it down and walking away. Lighter, freer, stronger. Forgive selfishly. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to stop bleeding for someone else's wound. Remember, letting go isn't about erasing memory. It's about erasing the emotional control those memories have over you. It's not about pretending you weren't hurt. It's about refusing to be hurt twice, once by them and again by yourself. Here's a perspective from the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Translation, the best way to win is to heal. The best way to rise is to be unbothered. The best way to triumph is to live beautifully, without carrying the ashes of old fires. Final reflection for this chapter. Whatever you're gripping today, the betrayal, the unfairness, the regret, ask yourself, is this weight worth carrying for another mile of my life? If not, release it. Forgive selfishly. Walk lighter, because the lighter you travel, the farther you can go. 3. Set boundaries without apology. There's a quiet kind of power that doesn't come from shouting, fighting, or proving. It comes from a single word said calmly with certainty. No. Not because you're rude, not because you're selfish, but because you're clear. We spend so much of our lives trying to be liked, trying to be helpful, trying not to upset anyone. But in the process, we slowly trade our peace for approval, our energy for acceptance, our time for validation. And then we wonder why we feel so drained, so resentful, so lost. Setting boundaries is how you stop bleeding energy into places that do not refill you. It's how you honor yourself, your time, your values, without waiting for someone else to grant you permission. Let's be clear, a boundary is not a wall, it's a bridge. It doesn't shut people out. It shows them how to walk with you respectfully. If you don't define what's okay and what's not, people will decide for you. And they'll often decide wrong. You don't have to explain your boundaries. You don't need to justify why you need space, rest, or silence. You just need to choose them and keep them. Say, I'm not available after 8 p.m. I can't take that on right now. I need some time to think. I love you, but I can't rescue you from this. Every time you set a boundary, you reinforce this truth. I matter too. And yes, some people will not like it. Some will push back. Some will call you distant, cold, or difficult. But that's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. People who truly care about you will adjust. People who only care about your availability will fade. Either way, clarity comes. A Stoic doesn't seek to please everyone. A Stoic seeks to live in alignment with what's true, what's essential, what's within their control. And you are always in control of your time, your focus, your energy. So set the boundary, hold the line, and walk in the freedom of a life that respects your limits, because you finally do. 4. Stop expecting people to be different. When you set clear boundaries, you realize something surprising. The real battle isn't always about saying no. Sometimes, the real struggle is letting people be exactly who they are, without trying to rewrite them. We carry these silent scripts inside us, scripts that whisper, "They should have supported me. They should have understood. They should have treated me better." But here's the truth no one tells you. They didn't. And maybe they never will. You cannot find peace while you are still fighting the reality of others. Expecting people to act exactly as you would, to show the same loyalty, patience, kindness, is like expecting a thunderstorm to hold off because you planned a picnic. Nature doesn't negotiate, and neither does human nature. It's not because people are bad. It's not because life is unfair. It's simply because everyone is walking their own complicated, messy path, shaped by pain, fear, trauma, and dreams you'll never fully see. The Stoics taught this timeless truth. The more you expect from others, the more power you hand them over your happiness. And when you hand away that power, you invite disappointment in, again and again and again. Think about it. How much time have you wasted wishing someone would act differently? How much energy have you burned replaying what should have happened in your mind? How many moments of your one precious life have been sacrificed at the altar of unrealistic expectations? The more rigid your expectations, the easier it is for disappointment to slice through your peace. But the less you expect, the lighter you walk. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It doesn't mean lowering your standards for yourself. It simply means understanding this. You choose where your energy goes, and wasting it on trying to change others is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. Next time someone disappoints you, instead of thinking, "How could they?" pause and ask, was it ever realistic to expect them to behave otherwise? Maybe the friend who vanished when you needed them most wasn't capable of the loyalty you give so easily. Maybe the boss who overlooks your work isn't out to get you. They're drowning in their own battles. Maybe the stranger who snaps at you isn't cruel. They're carrying invisible wounds. When you stop personalizing other people's flaws, you stop taking their failures as a reflection of your worth. You stop letting every missed expectation wound you. Accept people as they are. Protect yourself with clear boundaries, and keep moving forward without dragging the heavy chains of what should have been. Because the moment you stop expecting the world to conform to your dreams is the moment you free yourself to live fully, to love wisely, and to breathe without conditions. And once you stop expecting everyone to behave perfectly, you unlock a new kind of strength, the strength to respond not with anger, but with silence. 5. Practice the power of silence. There's a kind of wisdom that doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it doesn't need to win the room. It simply stands, still, unshaken, like a mountain unmoved by the storms around it. That wisdom is called silence. In a world addicted to noise, outrage, and instant reactions, silence is a rare and powerful rebellion. It's the difference between getting dragged into every petty drama and choosing peace without permission. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to answer every insult hurled your way. You don't have to explain yourself to those determined not to listen. Every time you react impulsively, you give away your energy like a leaking faucet. But every time you stay silent, you conserve your power, you hold your ground, you remind yourself that not every battle is worth fighting. Silence isn't weakness, it's a conscious, disciplined strength. When someone mocks you, criticizes you, tries to provoke you, you can react, or you can rise above it. You can pause. You can breathe. You can offer the most devastating, most powerful response possible: nothing. Because silence isn't the absence of a response, it's the presence of self-control. It says, your noise cannot shake my peace. Your drama cannot invade my mind. I am the master of my own emotions. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When others rage, you stay calm. When others provoke, you stay grounded. When others gossip, you stay silent. This kind of silence is not passive. It's active. It's deliberate. It's a refusal to be dragged into the mud of meaningless battles. And the more you practice it, the more you realize something incredible. Silence doesn't just protect your peace. It teaches you to hear things you missed before. The insecurity behind the insult, the pain behind the anger, the loneliness behind the hostility. And you begin to understand. Most of the noise wasn't even about you. It never was. Next time you're provoked, pause, breathe, smile, inside if not outside. And remember, silence is the armor of the wise. And once you master silence, you prepare yourself for the next essential skill, reframing your perspective with gratitude. 6. Practice gratitude, the fastest anger killer. After mastering silence, you'll notice something curious. You're no longer feeding the fire outside. But what about the sparks still flickering inside you? There's a tool more powerful than silence, more transformative than patience: gratitude. Gratitude is emotional alchemy. It turns bitterness into blessing. It reframes what feels unfair into what feels possible. Because here's a truth most people miss. You cannot feel grateful and angry at the same time. It's chemically impossible in the brain. One emotion will always displace the other. So when life punches you in the gut, when plans collapse, when people disappoint you, your greatest act of rebellion isn't rage, it's gratitude. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late, frustrated. You could stew, or you could breathe and think, I'm grateful to have a car. I'm grateful to be alive today. I'm grateful for this extra moment to practice patience. Sounds simple? It is. But simple doesn't mean easy. It's a discipline, a mental workout. Every time you shift focus from grievance to gratitude, you lift yourself higher. You become lighter. You move closer to real peace. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean denying pain. It means choosing to anchor yourself in what remains good, even when so much feels wrong. The Stoics knew this deeply. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." In other words, gratitude grows deepest not in easy days, but in hard ones. Next time anger flares, ask yourself, what can I still be thankful for, even here, even now? Maybe it's the lesson hidden inside the hardship. Maybe it's the strength being built in your bones. Maybe it's simply the fact that you are still standing. Gratitude doesn't erase the wound. It gives you the strength to heal around it. Every moment of gratitude is a small revolution, a quiet rebellion against despair. The more you practice it, the less the outside world can touch your inner world. And once you begin to live through gratitude, you prepare yourself for the next great Stoic mindset, seeing criticism not as an attack, but as a tool for growth. 7. Reframe criticism as a tool for growth. When you anchor yourself in gratitude, even your enemies become teachers. Even your critics become catalysts. Because here's another shift most people never make. Criticism isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. Yes, criticism stings. It bruises the ego. It feels unfair, especially when it comes from those who misunderstand you. But what if criticism isn't meant to break you? What if it's meant to shape you? Imagine every piece of feedback, even the clumsy, even the cruel, as a chisel in the hands of an invisible sculptor. Every harsh word, every overlooked effort, every misjudgment, an opportunity to refine your character, not to please them, but to polish yourself. Of course, not all criticism is valid. Some comes from jealousy, some comes from ignorance, some is simply noise. Your job isn't to swallow everything. Your job is to filter. Ask yourself, is there one grain of truth here that could make me better? Is there something in this pain that points toward my next level? If yes, grow. If no, let it go. But either way, don't let it poison you. Because when you learn to stand still in the storm of judgment, when you learn to sift truth from trash, you become unbreakable. The Stoics embrace this ruthlessly. Epictetus taught, if someone speaks ill of you, don't defend. Instead think, They only knew half of it. I have worse flaws they missed. That's real humility. That's real strength. Instead of reacting to every jab, you laugh lightly. You reflect honestly, and you move forward, stronger, sharper, freer. Because growth isn't born from comfort. It's born from discomfort embraced with courage. Next time someone criticizes you, pause. Instead of defending yourself instinctively, listen. Extract the gold, discard the mud. In doing so, you transform every critic into a coach, every insult into an insight, every attack into an advantage. And once you master this art, the art of turning criticism into fuel, you'll be ready to tackle the next transformation, detaching your worth from the opinions of others entirely. 8. Detach your worth from other people's opinions. After learning to see criticism as a tool, the next evolution is even more powerful, detaching your self-worth from what others think altogether. Imagine a world where compliments don't inflate you and insults don't deflate you. Imagine standing so rooted inside yourself that outside opinions are just passing weather, pleasant or unpleasant, but never personal. That world exists, and you can build it. The truth is, most people's opinions aren't really about you. They are reflections of their own fears, wounds, and projections. When someone praises you, they're often seeing a mirror of their aspirations. When someone criticizes you, they're often revealing their insecurities. The moment you start basing your worth on their noise, you hand over your power. You become a prisoner of the unpredictable. But when you stand rooted in your own values, when you measure yourself by your own standards, you reclaim your freedom. The Stoics were relentless about this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Crazy, isn't it? We trust strangers. Judgments over our own hearts knowing. It's time to break that habit. Here's the mindset shift. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And no compliment or insult will add to or subtract from my worth. This doesn't mean you become arrogant. It means you become untouchable by superficial judgment. When you detach from opinions, you gain something better: clarity, authenticity, freedom. Next time someone praises you, smile, but don't inhale it. Next time someone criticizes you, reflect if useful, but don't swallow it. Stay rooted, stay steady, stay you. Because when you no longer need validation, you can finally live for something far deeper: true peace, true purpose, true freedom. And that freedom prepares you for the next mastery: choosing your battles wisely. 9. Choose your battles wisely. Once you stop being ruled by opinions, another truth becomes clear. Not every mountain is worth climbing. Not every fight is worth fighting. Energy is finite. Attention is sacred. And maturity is learning to ask, is this really worth it? So many arguments are like chasing smoke. You spend hours, days, sometimes years, debating, defending, trying to prove something to someone who doesn't even want to understand. Is that a good investment of your life? The Stoics taught, don't waste what is limited on what is trivial. Every battle you enter costs you time, energy, emotional focus. Choose carefully. Choose intentionally. Ask yourself, does this issue touch my core values? Does it affect my purpose, my loved ones, my soul? Or is it just my ego being bruised? Most battles are invitations to drain you. You don't have to RSVP. Silence is often stronger than any counterattack. Distance is often wiser than any argument. Indifference is often more powerful than any revenge. You win not by conquering every battlefield. You win by walking away from battles that don't matter. True strength is restraint. True power is discernment. Every time you let go of a pointless conflict, you reclaim that energy for your real battles, your real mission, your real growth. And the more you save your strength, the more powerful you become for what truly matters. Because after all, you can't climb your mountain if you keep stopping to throw stones at every barking dog along the way. Save your fire, save your fight, save your soul. And once you choose your battles wisely, you open the doorway to an even deeper mastery. Mastering the art of letting go completely. 10. Master the art of letting go. When you stop chasing opinions, when you stop fighting every battle, you create space for the most powerful move of all, letting go. Letting go of what? Of anger, of resentment, of disappointment, of clinging. Letting go isn't about being passive. It's about being selective. Selective about what deserves a seat at the table of your mind. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, grudges, regrets, old wounds. How far could you go? How high could you climb? Now imagine dropping it all. How light you'd feel. How free. That's the magic of letting go. The Stoics said, the obstacle becomes the way. But sometimes, the obstacle isn't out there. It's inside you. The things you refuse to release. You don't need every apology. You don't need every justice served. You don't need closure from every broken relationship. You just need to choose, I am done carrying this. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means you stop bleeding for what cannot be changed. It means you choose today over yesterday. Freedom over bitterness. Flight over chains. And once you master letting go, you become a rare force in this world. Someone who cannot be owned by their past. But even as you let go, there's one more strength you must develop. Responding not with impulse, but with thoughtful action. 11. Respond with thoughtful action, not impulse. In every moment, you are given a choice: react or respond, impulse or intention. Most people live on reflex, triggered, provoked, poked, and instantly reacting, like puppets pulled by invisible strings. But the Stoics practice something deeper. Pause, reflect, respond. Between stimulus and response, there is a sacred space. And in that space lies your freedom. Someone insults you. Pause, breathe. Is a sharp comeback really necessary, or is silence stronger? A plan fails. Pause, breathe. Is panic the best move, or recalibration? An opportunity arises. Pause, breathe. Is it aligned with your values, or is it just noise dressed as gold? Thoughtful action is your superpower. It says, I control the next move. Not my anger, not my fear, not my ego. This isn't about being slow or passive. It's about being surgical with your energy. Precise, strategic, powerful. The more you respond intentionally, the more life bends in your favor. Not because it becomes easier, but because you become wiser. And once you master thoughtful action, you step into the final, most profound lesson: finding true peace by mastering your inner world. 12. Find true peace by mastering your inner world. In the end, it all comes down to this. Your peace is not found outside. It's forged inside. It's not found in circumstances, people, success, or approval. It's found in mastering your own thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The Stoics didn't promise a world without storms. They promised the self strong enough to stand inside them. True peace is waking up knowing, I cannot control what happens. I can only control how I meet it. And that is enough. You don't find peace by perfecting your environment. You find peace by building an environment inside yourself so powerful, so steady, that no outer storm can uproot it. Every pause, every boundary, every moment of gratitude, every battle you chose not to fight, every forgiveness you gave yourself, every silence you chose over shouting, each one was a brick in the fortress of your inner peace. Keep building, because in the end, the real success is not having the world bow to you. The real success is standing tall within yourself, calm, clear, and unshakable. And when you do, you don't just survive the chaos. You become the stillness the world is desperately searching for. That's the Stoic path. That's your path. And it's waiting for you to walk it, starting now. True peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of power within yourself. You won't find it by waiting for the world to be kinder. You'll find it by becoming stronger, calmer, wiser, no matter what the world does. These 12 lessons aren't just theories. They are tools, weapons, blueprints for a life lived from the inside out. The question is, which lesson are you ready to practice first? Drop a comment below and share the one that resonated with you most, because your journey could inspire someone else to begin theirs. If you found value here, hit that like button, subscribe for more Stoic insights, and remember, your peace is your responsibility and your superpower. Stay strong, stay steady, stay unshakable.